Good evening and welcome to your most authoritative evening political show in the country, Hot News. We are coming to you from our studios in Abelempe 48 Swanika Street here in Accra. We are live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. We are also live on YouTube at Pan-African Television. You can join in the conversation by sending your views, comments and contributions on our WhatsApp text line displayed on the screen. You can as well leave your suggestions, questions, commentaries or comments and whatnot on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram and on Twitter at Pan-African Television. We'll make a time and read all those stuff for you. Those of you watching us on Facebook, we are streaming live over there. You can share the Facebook Live for other people to also get an opportunity to watch tonight's edition of the program. My name is Justice Appiah, and tonight on Hot News we are looking at the fight against galamsey by government. President Dankwa Akufo-Addo speaking talked about the fact that those who think that burning of excavators by governments or Operation Halt Galamsey team are perpetrating some illegalities must go to court, and that is what rule of law is about. People have raised issues, people have raised concerns that these excavators need not to be burnt. Rather, we could have seized those excavators, used them for other activities that will benefit the country. But President Dankwa Akufo-Addo thinks otherwise. He says that if you think that burning of excavators, is an illegal act, you can as well go to court, and the court will determine the matter. People are of the view that burning of excavators are not the way we should go, but rather we should seize those excavators, hand them over to the district assemblies to embark on projects. Under normal circumstances we wouldn't have sought the services of those machines to be able to do it. Well, the National Women Organizer of the New Patriotic Party has had about 8 of her excavators burnt. Some people have also have their excavators burnt. Some mining association groups have also accused government of burning excavators of persons who are doing the mining legally, rather by leaving persons who are into the illegal activity. Now, people are also accusing government of shielding its own people and going after persons who are not members of government. And people are of the view that, look, some of these galamsey sites are sites that are operated by government officials, and until we hunt for those persons, fish them out, prosecute them, arrest and prosecute them, we are not going to see an end in the fight against the galamsey menace. Basically, that's what we are going to be discussing on the show. We are looking at the fight against galamsey, measures taken by government so far, and all of that, coupled with a statement made by President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Keep your messages coming in on our WhatsApp text line. We'll make a time and read all those stuff for you. You can as well go on Facebook, search for Pan-African Television. We are live over there. You can share the Facebook Live as many times as you can for other people to get an opportunity to watch tonight's edition of the program. I'll be joined in the studio by Nana Piasa, who is a member of the New Patriotic Party communications team. Nana, good evening.
Good evening, friend.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long while.
Where have you been?
We've been on the issue of managing Ghana's economy, so I've been a bit busy, if I should say. But it's good to be back home, and I miss the Pan-African family.
Very well. I'm sure you've heard, the recent issue of fix the country.
Yes.
I mean, some good people of Ghana are calling on government to fix the problems of this country. I don't know if you have heard that.
Yes, I have. I have. First of all, I would like to say a very good evening to our listeners, and I would like to say a very good evening also to my president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the members of our party in the Tema West constituency, especially Honorable Patrick Boama, the member of parliament. I would like to say that the call on government to fix the country is a call in the right direction. I believe that when the power to manage a country is given to a political party to form a government, I believe that it is only right for its citizens to periodically prompt the government on some of the things that they are doing wrong, and also to praise them with some of the things they are doing right.
Okay.
First of all, I would say that if you study management very well, you get to know that one of the fundamentals of management is what we call to set standards, to measure actual performance with the set standards, and to take corrective actions. If you study management, it is one of the basic things that a manager must do. So when we bring this down to the management of Ghana, Ghanaians are only telling Akufo-Addo that you came to us for our mandate to govern us. You brought us a list of things that you are going to do for us.
Okay.
Now, after we have given you the mandate, we feel that in certain areas such as A, B, C, you are not doing well as you promised.
Okay.
So we are telling you that fix the country. I believe that it's a call in the right direction. So if you ask me this evening, I think it's something that I support so well.
Okay.
And I think the members of the New Patriotic Party have embraced it also very well. So I think it's laudable. We are happy, and it's put us on our toes, and we are doing very well now.
Very well. I'll come back to you. That's on the topic of discussion, but I'm sure if you have embraced it, you wouldn't have told Ghanaians that they should fix themselves instead of asking government to fix the country. Also in the studio is Yao Menu, who is a member of the National Democratic Congress Communications team. Yao, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
God has done his part. It's left with President Akufo-Addo to also do his part. And then once that is done, we believe that, but up until that, we are just in what...
But Nana has just said that they are on the fishing expedition. So they are on the fixing expedition, and they are fixing the country.
I think you were just right by telling my brother that if they have actually embraced the Fix Ghana call, they wouldn't be telling people that they should fix themselves.
Okay.
And then the arrogance that they are displaying to tell Ghanaians that they don't even deserve to actually. I think 2 days ago, the road minister was telling Ghanaians for just saying that they should fix their roads, that they are far back.
Right.
And then, I don't think government is learning any lessons from the call.
Right.
And I think that is actually getting the young people more irritating. And then I believe that the government should pay attention to that, because such issues have created problems in other jurisdictions. And I think we can't just sit for government to take people for granted.
That's
and they should continue that.
Well, thank you so much. Now I'll take you through the story briefly, then we start the discussion on the burning of excavators and then measures put in place to fight the Galamsey menace by this government. Brass Sami, you are watching us on Facebook. Brass Sami is, an MPP activist, social media activist, and you're watching us on Facebook. Good evening to you, my very good brother, for watching the program. Burning of excavators, go to court, in court. President Akufo-Addo tells corporates. The President of the Republic, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has indicated that the battle against Galamsey has engaged the attention of the nation, with some people believing that the ongoing exercise of ridding our water bodies and forest zones of harmful equipment and machinery is unlawful and in some cases harsh. He, however, strongly disagrees and advised those who take a contrary view to go to court to vindicate their position if they so wish. Quote, "That is what the rule of law is about. I should know," he said, and indicated that the Ghana law reports of modern times are littered with cases in which my client thought it necessary to challenge government action. The president was speaking at a sword-cutting ceremony of a $55 million United States dollars Law Village project of the Ghana School of Law. According to him, when these matters go to court, in the majority of occasions, the courts upheld his contentions. In a few others, they did not, and that, he said, it is the rule of law, which does not recognize social status, religious persuasion, political affiliation, ethnic origins, or regional adherence. He said, the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, is the vehicle through which a mineral license is acquired, and thus confers mineral rights on the holder. Any person who, without a valid license, conveys any equipment onto a piece of land purportedly to conduct activities for the search, reconnaissance, prospecting, exploration, or mining for a mineral commits grievous crime against the law. Indeed, a person in possession of a valid license but undertakes mining in water bodies or mines unlawfully on protected forest zones also commits an illegality. Apart from the criminal violation of Act 703, the activities of such persons desecrate our environment, pollute our water bodies, and endanger the lives of present and future generation of Ghanaians. He emphasized that no right can accrue to or flow from the criminal venture of Galamsey. The equipment which is being used for an illegal or criminal purpose cannot confer on the owner or any other person any rights or whatsoever. He appealed to all Ghanaians, including many in the opposition, who are so doing, to rally behind government in its efforts to stamp out far-reaching illegality and criminality rather than advocate for protection of non-existent rights of persons caught in this evil activity. And those are the words of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I'll go to Nana Piasa on the fight against Galamsey and ask him, how far with the fight against Galamsey by your own government?
Thank you very much. I'm very happy that we are discussing this topic today because it's a topic that borders on the future of this country. I mean, water is so important that I don't think we should politicize the management of the water resource of this country. We live in a country whereby we had national officers of a certain party in this country go to a Galamsey site, a Galamsey community, and speak to the people. And this is on live radio. I don't know if Justice you've seen it. If you haven't, maybe I'll do you the kind gesture of giving it to your producer to show it so that our viewers can watch.
Very well. And what did they say?
You see, they went to a Galamsey community and told the people that they should go ahead and destroy the water bodies. And that once they are voted into power, Galamsey continues unabated. And that it will go on and go on and go on, and they can go ahead with it.
Which
and this
community are you talking about?
What community am I talking about? Well, I don't know the community, but the video is out there. It's on social media. It's everywhere. And my brother here will attest to that. I mean, his communication team members were there and everything. But that's not what I'm talking about. Let us look at the issue of Galamsey as a national issue. First of all, what does God do for us? I ask myself. Let me even put aside what Nanado is saying or what the MPP is doing about the fight. What does God do for us? Apart from beautification, apart from putting on some rings and chains that are made of gold, what exactly does it do for us? South Africa has more gold than Ghana, but they have stopped mining. This tells you that in the long term, the benefit of our water bodies far outpasses what gold can do for us. There is no point going on about whether we are going to burn excavators or not. Listen, we set up a committee to go into the forest. We gave them drones, all the technical amenities they will need, the equipment to arrest these people, seize these excavators, bring them back to government and all that. We all know what happened. President Nana Addo Dankwa happened. You see, listen, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is just one person. He cannot be at the Jubilee House making decisions, making strategic decisions, and still going ahead to make those decisions work. He delegated authority to people to go into these areas and get these excavators out. Some of them got missing, some of them were sold, some of them disappeared. This man is a wise president. He said, listen, go ahead, arrest these people, get these machines that they are using to destroy our water bodies.
The buck stops with the president. The president appointed the minister.
Yes.
The president appointed, some key members when it comes to the fight against Galamsey in this country.
Yes.
Some time ago, we instituted the fight against Galamsey. Some excavators were seized.
Yep.
And they are not accounted for. For that reason, today, if we are still fighting against the menace, we should ban excavators. Is that what you're saying?
Have you
simply because some excavators that were seized some time ago got missing? So this time around, the approach is to ban excavators.
Have you heard the president, through the Minister of Lands, now giving a directive that the excavator should no longer be bent? Sometimes you need to put in these kind of measures to send a strong warning.
Contradicting himself.
No, he's not.
If at a point you said the excavators should not be bent, and yesterday or 3 days ago you sit somewhere and say in your statement that people who think that burning of excavators are illegal should go to court. You see, are these two statements not contradictory?
Not at all. They are not contradictory at all. The issue is that we had to use this harsh measure to send a certain strict information to these miners. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is that now that they have realized that these military people are burning our excavators, this time they are not going into the forest to seize the gold and share among themselves. Listen, I was making a point, but you didn't allow me. Listen, President Akufo-Addo sent in military people into these forests. President cannot go there himself. What did we see? Sometimes we make it look like it's only about the politician. These military people are not politicians. They went in there, and what did we see? We had people seize gold from these miners and the gold disappeared. We had these people seize excavators and resell it to other people. The president was not there. No politician was there. What I'm saying now is that
whose responsibility is it to supervise these persons who have been dispatched?
Before I even get there, as wise as President Akufo-Addo is, he has even set his own house as an example by even destroying the machines of Kate Demfua, a national officer of the ruling party. This should tell you that, for example, if I sit here and I'm a miner and I have excavators in the forest, this should send a strong warning to me that if Kate Demfua, who is a national officer, who is part of Akufo-Addo's government, has her machines bent, what will happen to me if mine is caught? Just when they started all these things, some of these water bodies are beginning to come back to normal.
But the fact that President Akufo-Addo or the team, dispatched to fight this menace have bent, a national executive of your party's excavators, doesn't mean that it was illegal for that to be done. President Akufo-Addo, in his statement, in, mentioning the Minerals and Mining Act, 2006 Act 703, there's nowhere in that act did they say that when somebody is engaged in that illegality, the equipment the person is using should be burnt.
You are only quoting one side of the act. Do you know that though the act is there, for example, before I even go into the act, Kate Demfua's mining concession is legally documented. Do you know that the new lands minister actually called on these miners to halt mining for a month?
Where in our laws did they say that as part of sanctions to be meted out on people who have perpetrated that illegality is that their machines or equipment be bent?
No, you see, for that there is no outright law that will say that.
So our constitution perpetrating illegality by
no, it is not. If that is what will save our water bodies, it should be done.
How would that save our water bodies?
For example, if Kate Demfua, for example, assuming without admitting that Kate Demfua was mining in a water body illegally, and the machines are bent, it means there will be no more machines to go into the water body now for mining. You see, let me even go to a little, let me even start a little history with this mining. Mining didn't start during President Akufo-Addo's time. People think that because he is fighting it, it means that mining started during his time. Mining started probably during Nkrumah's time. During President Mahamad's time, there was mining. I remember President Mahamad went to Chebi to meet Ocheni, and Ocheni made mention to him. He even said that was the headquarters of mining. So it means that mining was ongoing before this time. But it is only President Akufo-Addo who has mastered the courage to fight this menace until today. That is why we have all these things going on. He could have said, okay, listen, I want votes. I don't want my party to be out of power. So let me leave this vote to mine and destroy the water bodies. And let me just get my votes and go. He said, no. Even if it takes me putting my presidency on the line, I will go ahead and do this and fight this menace. Listen, we had a president in this country who said that when we spoke about this Galamsey thing, he said and that he said dead good. And this mining thing had gone on so deeply. Now we are only coming in to regulate this thing.
Let's go back a bit. What happened to the earlier, fight against Galamsey that you instituted as a government?
That is what I'm telling you. That we sent in military people to stop these illegal miners.
And what happened?
Funny enough, they went in there and these people kept on mining. It is alleged that we were taking monies from them. It is alleged that we were seizing the gold from them and the gold went missing. It is alleged that they came in with some MPP national officers and were seizing this excavator and selling it back to them. You see, all these are allegations. But what we are saying now is that now if we meet you there, you are arrested. Your machines, which cost over $100,000, are being destroyed.
If somebody is engaged in an illegality, do you go after the person's machines or you go after the person in itself?
Good. This is a very good question. What you don't know is that I am privy to the information, some of the vital information from these Galamsey people, those the military guys who went at first, because I had some interactions with some of them. What went on was that sometimes once they hear or notice that these military Galamsey men are coming into the area, they run away and leave their machines there. Once the military guys leave, they come back. Sometimes they even mine at night. You don't believe it. So this is not something that we can politicize and make it look like.
You're using in fighting this menace that is so bad and you need to look at rather than burning of excavators?
For me, I feel like this is not the position of the MPP. This is my personal position.
Okay.
I believe that the burning of the excavators for these early times of the fight is very good. First of all, it has sent a very strong warning down. Everybody has heard about it. Everybody in Ghana who is a miner has heard about excavators being burnt.
What's the motive behind burning excavators?
To send the right message to them.
Isn't it the situation where some excavators were seized some time ago and you are unable to account for those excavators?
That is what I'm telling you, that miraculously they disappeared.
Fantastic. And the question is, who should we blame for the disappearance of those excavators? Isn't it the MPP government, the minister, and in fact the president himself?
You see, that is where the problem is.
The buck stops with
the president. Right? No, it's not true.
He appointed the minister.
We are so interested in who to blame. I can tell you for a fact, the minister of Lands Natural Resources doesn't know where one excavator is. He will not know whether the excavator moved this night or not.
We have heard tapes up to today. Who have we been able to prosecute in terms of those tapes?
You have heard tapes that what?
That, well, Party Hiasika. Yeah, I hope you know the tape I'm talking about.
I don't know the tape you're talking
about. You know the issue of a Kosi.
Yeah.
Your Central Regional,
First Vice Chairman.
First Vice Chairman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened? Has he been prosecuted?
No. Ekwusi has never said that he has taken a seized excavator. But before I even go into this,
there have been allegations that the then minister's son was deeply involved in the Galamsey.
It's not true. These are all allegations.
Did the New Patriotic Party, did government probe?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
What was the findings?
You see, we have internal party mechanisms in checking some of these things. What do you call it? Professor Frimpong Boateng's son was never involved in Galamsey.
The minister, Professor Frimpong Boateng, who was in charge of the ministry, right?
His son was never
under
involved.
Whose supervision he was unable to account for those seized excavators. Wait a minute. You see, what has happened to the minister?
So let me
be held responsible.
So let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. You are a minister of state. You sit in Accra at the ministry and give directives. If that is the case, we should be blaming President Kufuor for the missing excavators. When you are a minister, the Ministry of Lands doesn't have guards to go and seize excavators. We work in conjunction with the police, the military, the national security. That is why I'm telling you that some of this fault-finding spree that we are on doesn't amount to anything. The first thing I want to tell you is that, number one, if you import a car from abroad and you are not able to clear it from the port and government confiscates it, are you telling me you are going to look for who the car has been given to or where the car is? Once it has been confiscated, you lose ownership of it.
So I'm saying that.
So you don't have any business saying that.
Wait a minute.
My excavator was seized and I can't find it.
No. I'm saying that some over 500 excavators were seized.
Yes.
Up to today,
yeah,
government is unable to account for those excavators that were seized. Now, you are saying that because some time ago we started the fight, we seized excavators, and we are unable to account for those excavators. Now, the decision we have taken is to ban those excavators.
The
Isn't that alone a failure on the part of government on the fight against Galamsey? Especially when you have seized equipment and you are unable to even account for it in the first place. So you think that the best, solution to end this menace is now to ban those equipment. I mean, isn't that a failure?
No, I don't think it is. You see, like I was saying, government is a collective,
and nobody was held responsible.
People were held responsible.
Who are those held responsible for the missing excavators?
You see, that is why I'm trying to explain to you that some of these things are not things we can sit here and talk about like that. I gave you a typical example.
This is of public interest.
Yes.
The public would want to know.
What the
government must update the public on measures taken to make sure that persons behind the missing excavators are punished.
You see,
are asked to bring back the excavators.
I gave you a scenario that day in, day out, government is seizing things. People are arrested at Yoko, their properties are seized. At the port, we are seizing cars and containers all the time.
They must be accounted for.
We do account for them, but these are not documents you come and sit in public and say, listen, we seized one car that was stolen from Togo into Ghana, and that car is with Kofi or is given to justice.
Once the issue is in the public domain, it becomes.
That's what I'm saying. We don't put
and
these
the public
things,
is interested, and the
we
public
don't put
must
these
what you
names. For example, let me give you an example. If your excavator was seized because you were illegally mining,
okay,
and was given to me, and you are told that it's with me, do you know what was going to happen in this country?
Okay.
So we don't do that.
Okay.
That is why I'll give you an example that even at the port, we seize cars, but once they are confiscated, it doesn't belong to you. And where it's taken to is none of your business. The ownership rights has been taken away from you. So you don't have any business going to government and say, listen, I was illegally mining, of which I was told to stop. I saw Galam stop soldiers marching on TV that they were coming to seize these things, and mine was seized, and I'm looking for it.
All right, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you because what government has done to make sure that we win the fight against this menace is one that I want to hear from you, because there are some more questions I would want to ask you. But let me come to you, Amanda. Do you think that you have done a whole thesis on this issue of Galamsey? Do you think that we as a country can end this menace?
Thank you, Justice. Let me say a very good evening to the good people of Ghana, and also to my party leadership, especially to our chairman, and also to my constituency, Ablikuma West constituency. Just like you said, for my master's thesis, I spent a lot of time working on Galamsey, because I was investigating how Galamsey activities influence the occurrence of the Buruli ulcer disease. And I spent some time in the Wasa-Memphis district, which was my study area. And I've had a first-hand experience of what is actually happening to our environment. And even before I started doing a lot of party engagements, I worked in an organization, Eco-Conscious Citizens, to ensure that we protect our environment. Justice, this evening I'm very sad.
What's making you
that
sad?
My brother has just affirmed that President Akufo-Addo has failed again.
He hasn't said so.
You know, Justice, I always say that every leader will be tested. And after you are tested, then we will know your value as a leader. Now, President Akufo-Addo said he was going to fight Galamsey, and then after I think the media, there was a coalition by Ken Asibe or something like that on media coalition against illegal mining. I think somewhere in 2017, April there. And then after 3 months, the president, seeing the pressure from the media, went on one of his what do we call it, rhetorics to meet chiefs, trying to make it look like he was committed to fight this Galamsey. And in that, I watched that program, and I saw he met chiefs at the Accra International Conference Center on the 17th. Yeah. So, and I saw Professor Frimpong Boateng and Peter Amewu, and then, because he was the lands minister. And then the president's commitment was that he was going to put his presidency on the line to fight this. And when he was getting to election, he went back for his presidency and forgot about the fight against Galamsey. I've said that, you know, ever since Anas came out with his number 12, and Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi said that he has kept the president in his pocket, our president has never been the same. And I think it is very important that we need to get our president out of his...
What has that got to do with the...
No, our president said that he was going to fight Galamsey. He started with Operation Vanguard, where they put about 400 military men, police and military together to go in. And then he also inaugurated, what do we call it, the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining. Now look at it. If our president was serious about fighting Galamsey, look at the people he puts there.
Who are the people?
Now he put a Korewusi, who is the central vice suspended. I don't know if the suspension has been lifted. The suspended first vice chairman, who was a businessman in the UK, to be doing the cutting of seized excavators. Because my brother was saying that he never seized excavators. That is not factually accurate. He was mandated to seize excavators and then cut them to some designated point. Then he brought Mr. Charles Bisiu, who was a presidential staffer, and then I think he's by profession a lawyer, and then he was the secretary to the MSIN, that is the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining, and he was the secretary. And his mandate that was given was that he was supposed to be vetting the small-scale miners who wanted to go back to mining because there was a ban placed on mining activities. So he was to vet, what do we call it, small-scale miners, and then get them back to mining. And we were in the country, and we saw Anas expose alleging that Charles BCU has been collecting money from people. Allow me, when you were talking, listen to me. I did not say that Charles BCU was collecting money. I said that, alleged that Charles BCU was collecting bribes from people. Is that not what I said?
You can go ahead.
So, he was alleged to be taking bribes to give people permits to go and continue with the illegal mining. Of
which Anas was asked to provide the full...
So, you know, do you know that as we speak now, even though the CID has exonerated him, I think the president did that after the CID, but do you know that he is still being investigated by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and then up until now, he has not, the Special Prosecutor is yet, the Office of the Special Prosecutor is yet to come out with a report to say whether he was engaged in bribery or not. But CID, the CID, what do we call it? The CID is done with their report, and then the president, as usual, he has cleared him.
Okay.
You get it? So the Charles Bisiu is still being investigated by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and that is established. Now, Charles Bisiu, who is the Western, I think your Western Region Secretary. So you bring politicians. Now, the work that Charles Bisiu was doing is a work that the Constitution mandates the Mineral Commission to do that. The work that was given to Korewusi It's a work that the Minerals Act mandates the Ghana Police Service to do that. It is the Ghana Police that is mandated by law to seize, what do we call it, excavators, and then send them to the districts or the district office, or take it to the Ghana Police Service. Their what do we call, their office or whatever they keep their staff, they seize things. Now you take that work from them and give it to a politician. And from the conversation that was alleged that, what do we call it, between Ekowewusi and Professor Frimpong Boateng, that the party needed money, and therefore they needed Ekowewusi was supposed to be working with the party general secretary to make sure to get some money from the cutting of excavators. So if you tell me that this president has been committed about fighting Galamsey, it was just moving it from the Minerals Commission, the constitutionally mandated body, to undertake a certain function, to give to party people. And that is what we saw last year, I think in 2019, after the Anas expose. So I think that the government has never been committed, and it is about moving things from constitutionally mandated offices to be given to party people, so that some monies will be made from it. So to even say that Ekowewusi did not seize any excavator, it means that you did not understand the operations, and you actually don't understand what has actually happened with the fight against Galamsey, which the president has actually failed. Now, to seize and burn excavators, how do you solve an illegality with another illegality? What makes the burning of excavators illegal? It is clear that you are supposed to seize the excavators, but of course, because the government has accepted that his people are so corrupt, just like my brother is just saying that excavators that were seized, and just like you said, between 2017 to 2018, about 500 excavators were seized. And up until now, they cannot account where the excavators have gone to. 500 excavators. And it is failure on government that up until now, my brother is saying that they use party mechanism, they have way of using party mechanism to... This is not a party thing. This is a national issue.
He asked about Ekowewusi.
Ekowewusi was being engaged to undertake a national function, and that is cutting and putting seized excavators on low beds to designated places. And that is not a party function, unless you want to tell us that it was a party engagement that you guys were engaged in. So the president brought in his party people to find a way, just like a conversation that was alleged in what was alleged in the conversation, to ensure that some monies will be given for party activities through the...
Who do you expect the president to fight the Galamsey menace with? Who are you expecting that the president use?
Of course, the MPP in 2016 assured the people of Ghana that they had the men to do the work that the Ghanaian people wanted them to do. So we were expecting
an opportunity to help in the fight against that could be delivered. If Charles Bissiou could be given the opportunity and he would deliver, why can't we use them?
The reason why they can't, the reason why they can't be used is that there is a constitutionally mandated body to undertake that function.
Which body is that?
And that is the Minerals Commission. The Minerals Commission's mandate is to issue licenses.
Nothing also prevents the president from, instituting, a committee, or probably coming up with a committee to deal with a particular issue within the sector, though we have the Minerals Commission.
So if, as leadership, that is why if you think that the Minerals Commission has become dysfunctional, you make them functional. Because the people who drafted our constitution, they saw that a president will come and under his watch, there will be a lot of corrupt practices like what we are witnessing now. That is why in the rightness of their mind, they decided that let there be constitutional bodies that will regulate some of these activities. So you don't come tomorrow, if the president says that the Ghana Police Service is not functioning in the interest of his party and other things, do you say that the president should start another
I don't think
service?
That the setting up of the interministerial committee on illegal mining, they made the Minerals Commission, dysfunctional.
If you take the function of vetting license for small-scale miners from a constitutionally, constitutional body like the Minerals Commission, and give it to a party person, Charles Bisil, to take that function. You take it from a constitutional body that is supposed to be independent to do this work and give it to a party person to undertake that function. Then what are you telling us? That you don't have respect for our, and it is so evident with what the president said yesterday that anybody, they will continue to burn. He doesn't care about anybody's excavator. They will continue to burn them. If you don't agree, you can go to court.
A challenge. You're a citizen. You are of the view that burning of excavators are illegal, and you have said that you cannot fight an illegality with another illegality, which is very fantastic. What are you waiting for? He has thrown a challenge to, every citizen, that if you think that burning of excavators by government, is not the way to go and it's illegal, go to court.
It is sad to hear this from a president that before he became a president was a lawyer and a human rights activist, because he is supposed to know better.
Yeah.
Our president is supposed to know better. So it is so unfortunate that our president, he is a citizen of Ghana first, and he's supposed to protect our constitution. So if our president says that it is clear in the laws that you are not supposed to burn excavators, and this is the protocols that is being used to seize, and also this is what you are supposed to do with seized items, and he said that we will continue to burn them. We will continue to burn them, but if you think that burning them is a problem, you can go to court. Then it's very unfortunate. This should be coming from military leaders. This should be coming from people who have no respect for democracy. This should be coming from people who have actually no respect for rule of law. But this should not be coming from a president who, before becoming a president, was a human rights activist. But it's quite unfortunate that it is unfortunate, and a lot of things that is happening. That is why we have this culture of impunity, that people can do things and then they can look at Azugu involving the Ayawaso West. There was a report, the president had no regard for it, and then he was kept promoted. Then last 2 weeks they went to beat a journalist and he's still there. So when you have a president who have little respect for laws and can stand in public, I don't know if he forgot where he was standing.
Specifically in the laws of this country, did they state that mining equipment used in perpetrating illegal mining shouldn't be burnt?
Now, like I referred you to the Minerals Act. I think you be patient.
The Act did not say that those equipment be burnt when it was caught in the Act.
That is actually what we're saying.
But they did not say so.
The law did not say it should be burnt.
It did not also say that it shouldn't be burnt.
No. I think we may have to refer to it to clear some of these, because and then what do we call it, moving away from the law. Are we saying that by burning the excavators, it has addressed the issue of pollution of water?
Thinks that by burning the excavators are the only solution or ways and means of ending this menace. Why would you have problems with it?
When you read the multi-sectorial integration
Let's be stepping down that.
Yes.
Okay.
When you go through I think in 2017, there was a multi-sectorial integrated mining project, illegal mining project, something like that. And in that what do we call it? In that report, that actually gave a guideline by which the government was going to use to fight against this mining of galamsey. Now, if you go to page 12, page 12 of that, no, I think, let me go to page 14. Page 14. Yes, page 14. He says that it is evident that apart from the training aspect, that most of the interventions were pilot. That is the shortcomings of all the previous interventions that governments have made, from President Kufuor, President Rawlings, President Mills, President from President Mahama. All the interventions that they made was that he saw them to be a test that were carried out for specific projects. Any shortcomings were therefore considered as part of the learning process. So we have moved from somewhere, and then when you go to that report, you go to that document, it says the approach that the government wanted to use to address the issue of galamsey, because
this hasn't addressed the issue of whether or not excavators should be banned, and it is within the framework of our laws. As it stands now, the law did not state specifically, categorically, that if somebody is engaged in an illegal mining activity and the person is arrested, or the person runs away and the equipment are seized, the equipment should not be destroyed. I don't think that the law has a position on that as to what government should do or authorities should do with the seized equipment. So
Justice, what the people of Ghana are calling for is that they think that the burning of excavators does not actually solve any problem, because that excavator came through the port. That excavator was imported by someone. When they started burning, that is when we were exposed to the political figures that were behind the galamsey, and that is actually coming from the MPP. That is actually coming from the MPP, their party.
I'll come back to you. I think I've given you enough time.
Kate Jemfua has been mentioned. Honorable Kennedy Japan said that he knows about 24 mining companies belonging to the MPP party, and when he's provoked, he's going to mention them. I heard 2 days ago about one of your Bono regional chairman, is it Abronya or something like that, saying that the one there is a director at the Lands Ministry who is also engaging
those allegations.
Those are allegations. And I'm saying that but if you have people from your party, if you're having people from your party,
still remain allegations.
Of course.
Unless you tell me that you have verified those allegations.
Of course.
Provide evidence
of course. It was an allegation until we saw that after Kate Jemfua's, what do we call it, that illegality was measured on Kate Jemfua, that we saw that it was not just a mere allegation, but it was true.
I'll come back to you. Now, the Ministry of Information has issued a statement, and it says the Republic of Ghana, Ministry of Information, PO Box M41 Accra. They have their email over there, their telephone number, and this was issued on the 27th May 2021. And the statement says, the Ghana Armed Forces has commenced the 4th phase of Operation HALT, aimed at removing all persons and logistics involved in mining from water bodies. The new phase of the operation focuses on the Ankobra River and its tributaries. The operation is being undertaken by 401 men of all ranks. The public is advised to stay away from mining in water bodies to avoid any action by the forces. And signed, Kojo Nkrumah MP, stroke Minister of Information. Now, let me come to you, Nana. Now, you have just 5 minutes to deal with this, and I'll just ask you my questions, and then you deal with it within 5 minutes for me. Now, we have heard of allegations leveled against some notable persons in government who are engaged or who are deeply involved in this Galamsey menace. The Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining that was formed by government with its secretary, Charles Bisu, has also been alleged and seen in a tape provided by Anas, the investigative journalist, who was receiving monies purported to be bribe and all of that. Ekousu is one person who was heard on tape, talking about the fact that they should be allowed to do Galamsey because the party needs money, and so when they are allowed, that's how they will be able to, finance the party and all of that. I'm sure you've heard of that particular tape.
Yes.
One would have thought that government would want to probe some of these issues further, come out with findings, and where people have actually fallen foul of the law are dealt with appropriately to serve as, deterrent to other persons who might want to engage in similar acts and all of that. Okay. What specifically has government done in terms of, because people are saying that, look, we cannot end this if notable persons in government are not fought to the latter to make sure that those who are behind some of these Galamsey sites and pits have actually stopped and all of that. And that's the more reason I've asked you that question.
Thank you very much.
We are not seeing an end to the fight.
Yes,
and
thank you very much.
Because some politicians are behind some of these, Galamsey sites.
Yeah, thank you very much, Justice. First of all, I would say that that is why in my earlier submission, I made it known that when it comes to issues of Galamsey, I don't speak with a partisan approach, if I should say.
Okay.
Just about 2 months ago, I'll tell you this for free. Just about 2 months ago, there was this water issue in Tema. And then we didn't have water for almost 3 weeks, getting to a month.
Very well.
The water in my polytank was done. I had to buy water. It was during that time that someone mentioned to me that, listen, if we are not careful about this Galamsey issue, it will get to a time that this is what Ghana is going to face. And just after that time, I entered a Shell shop and I was going to buy water. And I picked up a bottle of water, and it was a brand that normally when I travel outside Ghana, I buy.
Yeah.
So I realized that we are actually getting there. People are actually importing water now. I took the conversation further. I spoke to a friend of mine, a business friend of mine. Then he told me that during the Can 2000 or whatever, he imported water to Ghana, and that it's a business that is old. So it got to me that this Galamsey thing is not a party thing. That is why when my brother was about to speak, you said he had done thesis and something. I thought we were coming to talk some technical things, because my master's thesis was also on energy policy and how Galamsey affects the energy sector of this country and the sub-region. So I thought we were going to talk some technical things. But he spoke about Kejimfua and Koewusi, and these things are mere allegation, party issues, and you see, do you know that
Kejimfua's excavators were bent? Is it true or false?
False.
Ekousi, did we hear him on a tape?
Let me finish.
Or not?
Let me finish. Do you know that Kejimfua has actually come out to show his documents to show that he has legal. That is the point.
Mining, yeah.
But the excavators are already bent. What I told you earlier on is that
why were the excavators bent?
We are sending a message. You see, the truth is that I'm a Ghanaian. Let me tell you the truth. There are times that you give them boundaries.
Okay.
It's not about MPP. It's not about NDC. You give them boundaries, and they go far beyond it. Sometimes you go there, they know people don't normally come there to check them.
So you mean that the reasonable thing to do is to bend the excavators?
What I'm trying to tell you is that they are sending a message down. Listen, when you talk about Anas and these things are in court, we told Anas to bring the raw footage. We don't want edited videos. Up to today, the raw footages has not been submitted. So when you come here and you mention Ekousi is not here to defend himself. Charles Bitu is not here to. You see, these things we should stop. I am telling you that your national officers, these are not party communicators, national officers were seen on video. If you don't have it, I can send it to the producer. On live video, telling these Galamsey people that go on and mine, destroy the water bodies. When we come to power, we will allow you to.
Are you trying to deny that there are some government officials who are engaged in Galamsey?
He even made mention that he heard Kennedy Japan saying that some MPP guys are
exactly, yeah.
Kennedy Japan also said that there are NDC MPs who also doing it. He didn't hear that part. That is why I tell you that I'm not here to do MPP NDC. Okay. What I want to know is that when I pick the newspapers, this is the daily graphic. They will put down here, and Cobra River regaining quality. That is what the average Ghanaian wants to know. But to tell me that Kejemfua and Ekwewusi and the issue of the work of the Minerals Commission, and I'm not interested in all that. All I want to know is that we are safeguarding our water bodies so that my children's children will have clean water. That is all.
Somebody said that
what you should be saying is that your national officers went there to tell them that they should mine in the water. So if you were good enough, as you claim to be, you should have gone to tell them that, listen, you are mining in the water bodies. Though we are in opposition and we need your vote, we still don't agree to it. Then we call it nation building. So if you go there and tell them they should mine in it, then you sit here and say that we shouldn't mine.
Wait a minute. Somebody said I should ask you, if you see an armed robber, and you decide to burn the guns of an armed robber and allow the robber to go, does that mean that the person will stop robbing? The
point is that he's an armed robber. So once the gun is taken off him, he's not armed anymore. He's just like you and I.
Does it mean that the person cannot acquire another gun to engage in that act?
You see, the first thing is that a gun is something you can put in your pocket and walk away with. When you talk about excavator, he was even saying that these excavators come through the... He doesn't even know the policy direction we've gone through with regards to this guarantee.
Then you are here to tell us
that is what I'm saying. That when he said he had done research, I thought we were about to go into all this. So I quickly opened my thesis online, trying to also look at a few things. Do you know that the whole of last year, nobody in this country was allowed to import excavators?
Where did they get excavators to, to still mine in?
These excavators that are already in the system. I'm saying the whole of last year, there was no importation of excavator. What happens is that before you are allowed to even bring in excavators now, you need to show your construction company and why you feel at this point you need an excavator. That is what is happening. But like I always say, people write that they are contractors
and they come with excavators and all of that. I'll show you a place just around Abofo.
Yeah.
I mean, you go there and you see a lot of excavators parked.
These are excavators. Do you know something? If not for the burning of excavators, some of these excavators would have been there. Trust me. These people are scared of losing their $150,000 and $200,000 worth of machines. I have a friend who was into mining support services.
Okay.
He lived just around this studio. He used to rent out excavators, bust it. Today his excavators are parked around Jolu. He calls me, Charlie, there's no job. I'm like, listen, we need to save our water. So just because that is my friend, I can say because I'm MPP, let me speak to somebody so that you can mine me. So see,
can you step down?
All I want to know is that, and Cobra River is gaining quality. You have your national officers. That is what my problem is. Before you come and talk about Ekwewusi, who was caught on tape, your national officers were caught on tape. You didn't see that one. Kennedy Japan mentioned some of your members of parliament. You didn't hear that one. You see how we point fingers.
But because you are also complicit of same, you are unable to go after those people.
That is what I'm telling you.
The NDC is not in government currently. It is the MPP that is in government. So if any action will be taken, it is the MPP government that every Ghanaian will expect to take.
Do you know Ekwewusi has been suspended?
Why don't you go after those people?
Do you know though Ekwewusi is being investigated, he has still been suspended from MPP?
Who is investigating him?
Oh, we have the Attorney General's Department investigating him. But your national
officers... How long would Ekwewusi be investigated?
Listen, there are some cases at the Attorney General's Department that are over 40 years. That is not has nothing to do with MPP or NDC. All I'm saying is that I thought before you come and sit here to condemn Ekwewusi, who was caught on tape, your national officers would have been suspended by now.
Because the issue is that the MPP is shielding its own that are deeply involved.
You see, let me ask you this question. Is Ekwewusi more powerful in MPP than Kejemfua? Ekwewusi is a deputy regional chairman. Kejemfua is a national officer. So you can't compare the two. And we have used Kejemfua as an example.
People say you have intentionally done that just to paint a picture as though the problem is fault. But when in actual
fact, we have intentionally bent $150,000 worth of machine, and we have bent 4 of them. Do you know just 2 days ago they went there again? Even her office was raided. We intentionally did that.
All right.
How intentional can we be?
Can you step down for me?
We are talking about a government that is taking pragmatic measures. When
now in
big brother
5 seconds, tell me the measures you have taken to end this.
Number one, we've had consultative engagement with chiefs and miners.
The one that you were writing on papers, specifically what the chiefs should read out.
No, it's not true. You see, that thing Otumfuo said, you guys didn't understand it. Otumfuo didn't say Jinapong wrote me this speech to read. No, he said Otumfuo said that.
It should be restricted to what was on the paper. That's what he said.
Listen, this happens everywhere. When our former president J.J. Rawlings was alive, he would go to party events, at NDC party events, and they would be like, oh boss, we don't want any boom, read this one. Kenya Japan is the same thing. These are things that doesn't affect.
If we all agree that the issue of Galamsey is one that is affecting this country, do we really matter how anybody speaks on that matter?
No, what I'm saying is that, do you really think Jinapong can write Otumfuo's speech for him?
But who wrote the speech?
Malaysia has a system of doing all this.
No, who wrote the speech?
No.
And why would anybody suggest?
I wish the producer would play Otumfuo's
How would anybody suggest to His Royal Majesty Otumfuo to restrict himself to, what was written on the paper?
I gave you several examples. That's Kennedy Japan, J.J. Rawlings. These people speak boom.
And I'm saying that doesn't matter how anybody speaks on issue of this magnitude.
When Otumfuo was speaking, he made mention of the fact that Meba Jinapong, it's relationship. My brother here I cannot go inside in front of Otumfuo and say Nana Batome Kanwe. It's relationship. Or say Meba Jinapong. So sometimes don't take these things out of context. What I am interested in is that Reverend Cobra is gaining his quality.
All right, and in 5 seconds, tell us the measures government has put in place so far to make sure that we end this.
First of all, before we started the ban of excavators, we had consultative meetings with chiefs, with miners, with lecturers, even the vice chancellor of University Energy. I met him at the function.
Okay.
They were all there. So the ban of excavators is not a Akufo-Addo sitting in his office and saying,
apart from the consultative meetings,
after that, you are not allowed to transport excavators to mining areas. If a car, a loader now has excavator on it and is going to any money, it will be stopped.
How did they find their way to
these are excavators that have already been there. Okay. Now you can't do that.
So then it means that you had failed the very first time you attempted fighting Galamsey.
He said that. Right. He even said that, let me go to page 12. Later I said, let me go to page 14. He said they had come from a place. So it simply means that the fight is not a one-day thing. It's not a one-act thing. Even Matsehine has brought in his own contribution.
Let's get going.
That we should stop mining for
Let's get going.
So I find it difficult to understand the rationale behind bringing Ekwewusi and Kejimfua, and these are not.
He was talking about government's commitment in fighting the menace when your own people are deeply involved in it.
No.
All right, okay. Thank you so much. Take us home, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, Justice. Except my brother is saying that people who were core members of the IMSEN is not important in the fight of Galamsey. And then Ekwewusi was suspended even before he was engaged into the.
No.
I'm coming. Anyway, it's not important for this. It's not important for this. Now, in 2016, he's saying that by my party people, I've not seen any video. I've not seen any. Allow me. You can give it to them when we finish. You can give it to them.
Of course, you won't see that.
No, you can give it to them. Let me make my point.
Go ahead.
You see, everything that people say will come back to fight them. At Obuasi during the 2016 elections, President Akufo-Addo went there to tell them that when it comes to power, and he said that in Tree, that Obisumukena, something that was an illegality.
No.
Allow me. Allow me.
I'm not saying the right.
You see, you can't tell me I'm not saying the right thing. When you are talking, I allowed you to say what you wanted to say.
He was not speaking to Galamsey people.
Allow me. You don't actually need to. Yes. So you did not
find this most. You
did not.
What has happened? Why did you find that?
Allow me. Allow me to make my point. Allow me to move. Yes. So that is what I'm saying.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Take us.
So you have a president that goes to assure the people that Obeshe Galamsey Nimokina. Then you come back.
But he has denied that. He said the president wasn't talking about Galamsey, but talking about small-scale mining.
After the people come back to fight him that this was assurance you gave us, then now you run back to say that we shouldn't make it a political issue. Already you made that issue a political issue. Now on the issue of saying that the water gaining its quality and then quoting from a newspaper and all that.
Daily Graph.
See, what is polluting the water? It's actually not just because of the change in the color. It's also about the chemicals like the mercury and the other things that is actually poured also into the water. I think 2 days ago, Kojo Oponkoma was saying that the sea life is dead. That the fishes are dead. There is no life in the rivers. So if you say that the Ankobra is gaining its, I don't know where that is coming from. I'm coming. So read it. So read the story.
But the truth is that it is in Daily Graph.
It is.
You can't deny that.
It is.
Unless you say that Daily Graph is not reported.
I'm saying that. Let's take our time. Give ourselves space to get our water to be quality for consumption. Because for you to pour those chemicals in the water, it doesn't take 2 months for it to gain its quality. So that assurance we want to force and give to people as if something is happening, I see it as a mere propaganda. But there is a work that ought to be done. But oh, come on. Go and get the altar. Go and get the. Go ahead and then we were here. We got. Was it not a political science?
I don't think
so. I'm saying that the people engaged in the fight, Professor Frimpong Boateng, Eko Ewusi, Charles Bisiu, are very important to the fight of Galamsey, which they have failed. And then if you give work to people and they fail, now there are issues of corruption in this. Just like you rightly said that the excavators are missing. Those excavators, some of them find themselves back into the forest. So if you see something that is in the custody of government and it finds itself back into the forest, then we need to find out what the government is doing about it.
Right.
We have. So if someone tells you that this president is committed to, they are only committed in making money out of the situation we find ourselves in, and it's not about a call. There is no urgency on the government that he wants to fight Galamsey. And the people of Ghana have seen the president's attitude towards it. This mere going to bend, what do we call it, say that Kejimfua was doing legal mining and all those things. Do you know, you could be doing something legal, you could be doing something wrong legally.
Okay.
You could be doing something wrong legally. Go to my study area, Wasa Menfi. People have licenses, so go and see the water at Wasa Menfi. People are getting really ulcer because of some of these things.
That's what we want to know. These are the things
you get it. People have really ulcer. Go and see. Go and check the water quality. They import water there. But because the people involved in that fight,
let's get going.
I'm happy to hear this.
Of course.
Officer said this.
And I'm saying that I've not seen that. I've not heard that. And what I know is what I told you. And I'm saying that the government is not committed, and it is just one of his mere talks without action.
Is on me. We need to go
without action, and we can't really take him. We can't really take the government serious on his fight against corruption.
Let me take few of our messages and go. The MPP man in your studio there isn't candid in his submission. This insincerity and dishonesty by the MPP communicators isn't helping Mother Ghana at all. Tuaruka from Edra sent in that one. This one says, good evening, host. The MPP man should stop. Let me ask you this and that and say the right thing. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your message. You have deleted your message. I don't know why, but I don't have time. So you see an armed robber and he decides to burn his gun and the items he has stolen without being concerned about where he got the gun from, and yet That act makes a government feel he is fighting insecurity. Okay, thank you so much. This one says, good evening, Justice. I'm enjoying the show live from Awoshin. Please, Justice, my regards to the incoming NDC women organizer for Esikado Kitan constituency, Madam Nadu of Esikado Fishing Harbour. All right, thank you so much for your message. This one says, Nana and his party should fix the economy. Ghanaian youths are crying rather than burning people's excavators. That wasn't why they were voted for. Okay, thank you so much for your message. This one says, Justice, does our constitution allow political party like the MPP to use our state resources like gold to fund their party? And everybody is quiet. I weep for Ghana. We are in the banana republic indeed. Stephen and Kwabenya sent in that one. This one says, please kindly tell our leaders to change their attitude, especially this regime, because violence can break here and there. Not that man planned or willed it, but it is accumulated grievances would erupt like volcanic fury. The youth of today are really boiling up from Abattoir, Takwa. I'll be unable to read your messages because I have a lot more here. Let me take this one. This one says, good evening, Justice. I like your show, Bruta. The Galamsey fight is not the matter of burning excavators. They can even send some of the excavators to the municipalities and the district assembly to enhance the development and betterment of this country. This is common sense because of loot and share. They will still go out there to procure new ones for them instead of using this as a national asset. And took the whole sitting president to tell us to go to court. How can you manage this mess? He is not having the nation at heart. If not, he wouldn't have come to throw these jabs. He has lost the fight totally. We show his comments. But we still have people to defend this crime, and I can't read that. That's an insult. Antidana Daniel from Asante Mampong. I cannot read your messages anymore. This is what time will last on the program. Thank you so much for coming, Yaumeno, and thank you so much for coming, Nana Appiah. My name is Appiah, and the show has been hot. Make a time with us same time next week. Goodbye.